Hey, everybody, welcome to this issue of Staffing Monthly, where we are focused on bringing you actionable insights in the areas of recruiting, marketing, sales, and leadership. And I actually have two of my favorite people in the industry, and they're going to be talking about something really cool that they're doing in the very near future. I believe it kicks off maybe next month, that you need to be aware of if you're trying to level up your game and compete at a different level in the staffing industry. But before we jump into that, let me welcome our guests to the show. First and foremost, we have Kim Henderson, the sales assassin. If you know her from the Staffing Sales Summit, she does an amazing job coaching very tactically into areas like, how to navigate MSPs and build your business there, how to actually leverage SOW work. And really, her catalog of knowledge is so deep that she's someone you got to be paying attention to. And her cohort today is actually Richard Roser, better known as the Staffing Shark. And I'm sure you probably know the Staffing Shark already. He literally is everywhere. He is going to be out there talking about the latest challenges in the staffing industry. Always, this dude lives out on the edge. And if you know him from the Staffing Sales Summit, you know that that edge is a fun place to be. So first and foremost, Shark, Kim, thank you for being here today. I'm looking forward to chat about what you got going on.
Hey, thank you.
Dan, thank you. Awesome.
So let's hit this. You guys told me that you're partnering up and you're going to be launching a LinkedIn Live mini series. So let's just talk. What is the construct? Is it LinkedIn Live? Like, tell me what's going on. Give me an overview really quick.
Sure. Actually, I'll jump in and Rich, then I'll turn it over to you. So we are actually doing the staffing series summer school, right? Try to say that fast all together. And we all know today, right, Dan and Sharp, that there's nothing harder than staffing sales, right? Getting customers, expanding them, keeping them. That's really the challenge far and wide with everyone that I work with. So the first thing we're going to dive into first, we're going to start on June the 4th, right after everybody gets back from Memorial Days, and kick off our summer school event. And if we think back to summer school, if any of us ever went, which I'm sure a lot of people actually did, throughout college, you take a whole, semester and you distill it down into the basic facts that people need to go and be successful and what they need to take away. So we're going to start with selling contract services. So many companies out there right now are doing direct hire placement and want to get into this business because it's tremendous. You and I both know, Dan, we've built businesses on it. That forecastable revenue really, really helps you build, whether you just want to scale and have a successful business, or if you want to ultimately sell. So we're going to take that as our very first action item to help people diversify their business, right? And we're going to look at it in terms of, how do you sell it, right? Like, how do you identify those type of opportunities? What do you need to look for? How do you position it to your client? Further, how do you price it? Right. And then getting
Yeah.
really deep into it. Okay, now a customer's been off on it and said, yes, I want to, bring on contractors through you. Then the question is, how do you pay for it? How do you fund it? How do you finance it? And we're going to go into those different options and kind of lead people down some pathways of things that they would want to explore. So that's step one. And then finally, in and around that, it's what are your recruiting considerations? How do you align your back office and your recruitment teams if you're going to sell contract as well? So again, just a comprehensive course in about an hour and a half that's going to be packed with action items so you can leave, so anyone can leave and start to go and put those in place. So it's going to be very, very detailed. Shark, what are your thoughts on that?
Man, you just summed it up there. What I like about it is me and Kim teaming up here is because Kim brings that part of like being the professor apart, and then I'm bringing the actual stuff that I've seen in the last year, the roadblocks that, when you go for a contract, it should be too long, it should be a one pager. So we're going to use a lot of the street smarts that I've seen over the last 12 months and how we can, make everybody grow in the end of the day. So, I mean, I think this is going to be one in where it's going to be very interactive, Dan. We want people to, enjoy it. And, in the summertime, most people say staffing's slow in the summertime. I don't think it is, but, it's a little bit of a downtime so they can jump on here once a month and enjoy it and get the best out of it. And it's going to be very interactive.
I love it. I love it. That's a perfect mix to really get down to the fundamentals of how all of this works, and then specifically applying it to the challenges we've seen over the last 12 months. And I agree with you, Shark. I don't see summer's being a slow time. I think sometimes it might feel that way because it is a little harder to get a hold of people because there are more vacations, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's slower. We just have to respond differently to that. So before, I think there's going to be more series, but when does this
Yes.
kick off? Like when do you do the first one?
June 4th, right after we get back from Memorial Day
June
weekend,
4th.
June 4th.
I love it. And where do people go to sign up? Because I want to get that right on the page. Can we just get, is there like a landing page they go to sign up and register? How does all that work?
Absolutely. That is actually being developed as we speak. The virtual assistant team just finished that, so we'll have that link to you. If not today, it'll be there tomorrow to get people signed up and ready to go.
Awesome. And we'll get that link right on page. But this is a mini series. So you're covering the foundation of contracts. What comes next?
Okay, great. Yeah, good question. Round two is going to be selling statement of work, right? And you and I have obviously addressed that together before at a staffing sales summit. But once we know how to sell staffing, right? Let's take it one step deeper in how to go out and get that project business. What do we look for? How do we position it? How do we price it? And what do we avoid, right? Because let's face it, most of us are not, we're not Accenture, we're not IBM, we're not out there to do fixed price projects. None of us really have that capability to do that properly. It's how to go and package up regular staffing services to where we can go and get those volume projects, right? All for ourselves and kind of gain that client share more quickly. So that's part two. Part three will actually be gaining client share and loyalty, a 10-step plan. Because I think we do a great job once again in our industry of getting clients by and large, but we really don't focus too hard on actually keeping them for the long term and building up that loyalty. And there are specific steps and things that we should be doing to go and get that retention, build the loyalty, so we have that first call advantage, right? And I think by and large, it's a lot of what people in our industry tend to ignore or just not get right. And then finally, it's about differentiation, value add, and account expansion. Kind of tied a little bit into loyalty, but a little bit different because I feel like we compare ourselves to ourselves, think we're doing a great job with maybe 10 contractors on assignment. Then we find out our competition's blowing us away with 85 contractors out on assignment, right? So there's a lot of questions that we should be asking. Ways that we can position ourselves differently. I know that you speak a lot about that, how to add value, how to sell on value and not price. And I think that, again, it's something that people in our industry struggle with. They get desperate or they're like, oh my gosh, I got to make a placement. I got to get this client. And what do? They sacrifice value. They don't explain it well. Therefore, we get lumped in with everybody else, no differentiation, and there's nothing but competing on price. And that's just a race down to the bottom of the sea, right?
Yeah.
So those are our 4-part series that we're kicking off to take all throughout June and July.
That is awesome. Shark, anything else to add in there?
Yes, the famous word, Kim, what is it? Valuetainment. I think if you come in with valuetainment for every, when you go to a client, I think the biggest thing is, you got to have humor and then they'll hire you. I mean, that's what we have to go to. I think too many people go into these meetings and they, they're not prepared or something like that. So we're going to prepare you, but we're also going to have fun with it. Getting a job order should be fun, not should be something that's very tedious and stressful. So we're going to teach you all them steps.
That's a great point. We really should get up and enjoy what we're doing every day and kind of really reframe our mindset, right? If someone feels like, oh my gosh, I'm in staffing, I'm dragging a bag around every day. That's not what we want. Because if we think about it, we're doing that. We're driving the economy, right? Businesses couldn't survive without what we do. I mean, they would fold, right? They need people to go carry forth their mission and book revenue. And then the same thing. Folks need a livelihood. People need jobs. So, I mean, we really are kind of at the cornerstone or the foundation of the economy. And I think if you look at it in terms of how important it is what we do as an industry, it can kind of help you reframe your mindset a little bit and kind of find the joy of staffing. Once again, if that's something that you've lost a little bit throughout the past couple of years.
Yeah, I love that. I think back fondly of my very early days in this industry nearly 20 years ago and how much fun I was having, how much fun I was like, oh, this is so great. And as you go through the ebbs and flows of this industry and you realize sometimes it gets really tough, and sometimes you start to lose that spark. So I love the fact that you're not only going to be teaching the kind of the fundamental pieces of staffing and selling contract and all of the components that go with that, and then evolving it into selling SOW work and really capitalizing on that niche of project work that can be so valuable and can operate outside of MSAs. And I love that you're going to transition into expanding market share. That is an area where agencies, they think or they know that they do a really good job retaining, but you have to grow it. And it's a lot easier to grow business with an existing client than it is to go get a new client. Yet we always focus on filling the funnel with new stuff, right? And that brings its own challenges. So I like that you're building that in there. And everyone should always, I don't know if you should close a differentiation, open with it, do a differentiation session every single time so people hear how to do it. But that's a problem that we need to solve in this industry. So that sounds like an amazing master class of a summer school for staffing. And I would encourage anybody here that if you want to level up your sales game this year and have a good shot at crushing your goals, go sign up for this summer school session with Kim Henderson and the Staffing Shark. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be taking notes. I'm going to be learning what I can. This sounds amazing. Kim Shark, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this. Thank you for putting this on for this industry. And if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know.
You got it, buddy. It's
You
going to be
got it.
electrifying for sure.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to learn and have kind of walk away with actions that we can take and enjoy it along the way for sure. Thank you.